working already. I feel cooler. So, we're on our way to the poinsettia. A beautiful standard for the holiday season. Took what, 2 seconds? Make a beautiful poinsettia. You can bake all your cupcakes off in advance and then take them and decorate them when you have the opportunity. You can make your cupcakes in advance. You can make your icing in advance and put them to the side until you need them. I didn't get a chance to color. This is rolled fondant. It's a sugar dough. I didn't get a chance to color it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my green buttercream and incorporate it in, because you know the poinsettia has those, or poinsettia, however you say it. Hope there are no linguists in here. You know how they have those little doodads in the center? Well, these are going to be my little doodads. And no botanist either. All right, so those should go in the center, but you get the idea. So that'll be my first little cupcake for the day. All right, and so I took a round one, and I did a wreath with that same motion to just pull out the leaves. This time I didn't squeeze as hard. I don't know if you can see that, but on this one it's the same size tip, but the leaves are a little bit smaller, so I gave it less pressure. I gave that one a lot of pressure. I gave this one less pressure. Pressure is really all about making sure that you have, the design is all about making sure that you have the right pressure and the consistency of your icing. If your icing is way too stiff, then your decorations are not going to come out quite the way that you want them to, because it'll be really hard to squeeze out. So I just took a little bit. I'm going to make my little holly, my little, my little red things. Y'all still with me there? All right.
Anybody have a question?
Sure.
Chef, how long can you keep a buttercream?
Buttercream is good as long as your butter is good, if you make it with butter. A lot of buttercreams are called that, even though they're only made with shortening. So in that case, it's great for as long as forever, pretty much. It can suffer in consistency based on the length of time that you store it, maybe if it gets too warm. If you make it with butter, then it really is good for as long as the butter is good. Salted butter is salted because it acts as a preservative, so salted butter will last longer, but it may add a little bit of saltiness to your icing. So you can use unsalted butter, incorporate your own salt into your recipe, and then if you want to store it long term, you can actually freeze it, and then what you would do is to thaw it out, and then bring it to the proper, remix it, and then use it for whatever application you would want to. All right, we're going to have a girly Christmas. I'm going to make a fondant bow out of pink, since I didn't get a chance to make my red. So I'm going to use a bow cutter to do that. So I rolled out a thin sheet of fondant. I can do it freehand, but if I'm short on time, then I want to actually do it this way. Got my little toothpick. So, and take my little bow center, my little bow tendrils, fold that over. Bow cutters come in a variety of sizes, so I can do something that's minuscule like this, or I could apply it to something really big like a beautiful box cake and present it as a present. All right, cupcake number 2. See, there's just too much stuff to show you guys. All right, so I'm going to work with some little mini cupcakes. These have really beautiful ladybug liners, and I thought it was appropriate for the season. As you see, you don't have to do just plain blue, white, or pink, or silver liners. There's a whole range of types of liners that you can use depending on what the occasion is. So this is great for summer, for those summer parties. So what I'm going to do is grab my bigger tip. So I'm going to take my leaf tip again. I'm going to squeeze out some nice, bold, strong leaves. I'm going to do it on a different one. My liner's coming a little bit loose on that one. And then I'm going to take some of my beautiful yellow. I used lemon yellow and gold to kind of get this rich, deep yellow color. Now, ideally, you're not working outside in 80-degree heat and humidity when you're working with buttercream. But if you are, you can see that it can be done, right? All right, got my little sunflower there. I'll do another one and kind of change the orientation of my sunflower. Get out of there. So I'm going to lay down my leaves again, nice and big and bold. And then I'm going to orient it in kind of one direction, and you guys will see where I'm going in just a second. Can everybody see?
Chef, you're making this look way too easy. Do you offer classes?
We do offer classes. We make sure that it's a cakewalk. That's why it's so easy. It's a cakewalk. Yes, we do. We have a class called Cupcake Madness where you actually decorate your own cupcakes using these techniques and a few more. We do basic cake decorating classes. We do cookie decorating classes. We do classes for children, depending on the ages, even toddler age, with an adult. Don't be dropping off your kids with an adult. The preteen classes, if they're mature, you can drop them off for me. So we have a lot of fun because all of these are things that we used to do, well, many of us were fortunate enough to do with our moms or our grandmas or sit around and watch them do things. And it's kind of a lost tradition, so we like to bring it back to you guys. So I made some in advance. I popped them in the freezer so that I could actually remove them from here. So I've got my little garden. You can actually take these mini cupcakes and make a cupcake topiary. And by that I mean you can take a round styrofoam ball and you can put toothpicks in them, making sure that you've chilled your flowers in advance. And you can put them around, so you would hot glue a styrofoam ball to a pot, and you would, inside of that pot, make sure you put down something to weight it. I usually just grab a cheap thing of dry beans, and you'll put it in the bottom to weigh it down, and then you'll hot glue a styrofoam ball to the top. And then at about every 1.5 inches, you'll put a toothpick, and then what will happen is you will just spear this little cake on top of that toothpick, and you'll have a little cupcake topiary that you can actually sit up and have some dimension, which is a beautiful way to add interest to a buffet table. A little while ago, I used a little bit of fondant in a silicone mold to create some little hummingbirds. And I used white fondant, and then I just dusted it with a little bit of powdered food coloring to give it a little bit of shimmer. So you can actually take something like this if you make it in advance and add it to, let's find one that's not frozen, and add it to your display. Oh, he's laying down. Okay. So